Good evening and welcome to the BCMFest Nightcap concert. You might think it's over. You might think this is the end. It's the Nightcap, right? It's over. It's not over. There's more happening tomorrow. There's workshops and classes and panels all happening tomorrow and Monday as well. But we've been having such a great time with this festival for the last 3 nights. Actually, well, 2 nights and then all day today up until now. This has been such an exciting event. And I know it's not the same. I know it's different. I know it's strange in a way to be doing all of this online. But think of the pluses. Let's be positive about this. We didn't have to worry about weather. We didn't have to worry about travel. No one had to worry about parking. No one had to get a babysitter or anything like that. You can just like sit home and it's open bar. Like whatever you've got at home is what you have. And the music has been spectacular. I've been having such a good time watching these sets. It's been so fun to have everyone engaged and involved. If you're watching on Facebook, consider opening a tab to YouTube as well, because there's a lot of, I'd say more of the audience has been on YouTube. And so you might have a bunch of friends over there that are chatting. And then for the YouTube folks, check out Facebook as well, because you might have missed something that's going on over there. We have this centralized platform where we can see everything that's going on. So we know what's happening. And I'm saying you might want to check the other things as well. Thank you for being here and watching this show with us and being part of BCM Fest 2021. I want to say a couple things about Passim before we get started, because some of you might be here watching this that weren't here earlier today. Passim is a nonprofit organization. We've been running as a nonprofit for the last 26 years. But the venue's been around Harvard Square for over 60 years. These days, as a nonprofit organization, we're not just a music club, where in normal times we put on shows 7 nights a week, but we also have a school of music. We do outreach programs. We give grants to artists through our Iguana Music Fund. And also, last year, we raised and distributed $147,000 in funds to musicians through our Passim Emergency Artist Relief Fund. And you are what makes all of this happen. We take donations for shows like this. We ask for a $25 donation for tuning in for tonight's show, and if you can't afford that, whatever you can afford helps out tremendously. If you can afford nothing, we ask you to share the stream. We ask everyone to share the stream if you can. Just copy and paste this into another platform. If you're on Facebook, there's an easy share button. We really appreciate you being here and being part of what we're doing, but we can't do it without your help. So stay engaged, stay involved, be part of what we're doing, and thank you so much for being here. We've got an incredible show to cap off this evening. Why don't we bring on Julian Loida, who puts together BCM Fest, to help see us off and tell us what we've got going on for the next couple days.
Yeah, I'm feeling all the feels. That when I started working at Passim, one of my kind of trial periods was at Passim with Jess Vanoff, and that was my first real BCM Fest, and then ran it the next year and improved it the next year, and it's just it kind of all comes together. I've gotten to meet so many amazing musicians from around the country and now the globe, and to have Karan, Casey, and Alasdair Fraser. As long as I've been working on this festival, we've been talking about, and Natalie Haas, we've been talking about these 3 musicians. And so to have them on a show like this, it would have been so hard to do in person, and it's really special.
Well, and also, we talked about this coming into this festival, this idea that, where the festival is the Boston Celtic Music Festival. It's very Boston-centric. And the fact is, I mean, while Karan and Alasdair and Natalie have all done so much work in the Boston community with Boston area artists, the idea that the Boston community also expands across the world. And now that we are all online, this is how we witness music right now. Everything is local. Everything is local and global are the same thing now. We all have the same access. And so to put together a show like this for BCM Fest, I think is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's really special, and we've kind of kept away from the harsh realities right now, but I think with the show that we're about to witness, it's worth kind of going there and just to support our frontline workers. My older brother is a nurse, frontline worker, just to support these people, support who are sick, wear our masks, and to just really indulge in the feels tonight, because I think we have some amazing artists, and to just let it out. So I'm really, really excited for it.
Yeah. Well, Julian, fantastic work in putting all of this together. It's been a real treat to be a witness to it as well as be part of it.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thank everyone at Passim. It's such a team effort. It's a dream team. So thank you guys.
You bet. You bet. Well, later on tonight, we're going to hear from Alasdair, Fraser, and Natalie Haas. But right now, let's kick things off with iconic singer Karan Casey.
Hello everyone, how you going in Boston in particular, and thank you to the Celtic Fest and Club Passim for asking me to sing today. I hope you're all surviving out there. I know it's very, very difficult for many people. So I'm going to try a few songs on the piano that I've been working up during the lockdown, and then a few of older songs, sort of a cappella, not sort of. Definitely a cappella. Okay. Sailing there to me, feinig an áras. Love your hele callie could save no launa. We began a go feeling it's floggy alla. Father vi kan palik teo come. Shigling er gaunam. Hallelujah, gauna bona. Thou say lang polten, fighter them canais, fighter them burak, fighter them sigak and quarit maquidukta, kill the shield kriver, sheer curry maclusa. mi there and nay knogs can know me the gauna. When me the fairy the mockings na glaunta, isik she the fair is part and legend gone love. Stucky she the one you couldn't man you couldn't tambourine. Alla gamna na gamna bona. Alla gauna be the barlow. Alla gauna giala bona. La gauna modern hamri, thou say la bonta. La gauna modern hamri, ik thou say la bonta. I am lying here, daughter dear. I have something that I wish to whisper in your small round ear. What is it you wish to say, oh, Mama, my dear? Like a prayer in the rain, it beats a sad, familiar refrain. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. For the words they crawl out, and the words they crawl in, and they rub up and down against my skin. Yes, the words they crawl out, and the worms they crawl in. Oh, they rub up and down against my skin. The snowdrop grows up out of
an amount of distress. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. Mama, I don't like it when you're not here. For the worms they crawl out, and the worms they crawl in, and they rub up and down against my skin. For the worms they crawl out, and the worms, so they crawl in. Oh, they rub up and down against my skin. What is it you came to say when you came to visit today? What is it you wish to whisper in my small round ear? I will meet you down in the Glen, my love. Deep down in the Glen, my love. The sunlight, it will fall. It will fall down at your feet when we meet, my love. And I sing a rebel song for you. All the rebel songs for you. I sing them loud, I sing them proud, I'll sing them long, and I'll sing them strong. All night long, my love. I know you will appear as the evening shadows fade down in the west, my love. I know you take my hand until my lips you press, the kiss I love the best in all the land. I sing them proud, sing them long, and I'll sing them strong all night long, my love. And I know you must away before the end of day, for your rebel heart you must depart. I'll put all the stars out there for to dress you lovely fair, and the moon will be the host of the air. And I sing a rebel song for you, all the rebel songs for you. I sing them proud, I sing them proud, sing them long, and I sing them strong all night long, till all the women are free, just like you and me, my love. And like a pin in your hair, the dark sings softly to the Right. That was a bit more dramatic than I had intended. Niall Valley is here recording. Thank you, Niall, and I can hear him trying not to laugh. So the first song was a very well-known traditional Irish song called Alaluna Gowna that I've been singing for years. It's a really beautiful song, and it's one of those songs you'll never get to the end of. It's a love song really about this young woman heading out in her life, and she has music and the sound of the river and a small little hut, and she wants to find love as well. And the second song was a new song I've written called Daughter Dear, and I wrote it as part of a bigger piece I wrote called I Walked Into My Head, and it's really, I suppose, my hearing my mother from the grave and also speaking to my younger daughters, and that kind of lineage, speaking back and forth to one another. And then that one is called Down in the Glen, the last song I sang, which was a song I wrote for the centenary celebrations for 1916. And I was hoping to honour the women who were in the GPO at the time. Julia Grennan was the nurse who was with James Connolly when he was wounded, and Elizabeth O'Farrell was also the nurse, a different nurse, who went out to surrender the flag to the Empire with Padraig Pearse. And Julia and Elizabeth were lovers, so the song is depicting what Julia would have been thinking as Elizabeth went out to surrender to the British Empire. Okay, so I'm going to do a few different songs now. One called Doll in Cash's Window, which is a Cork song that I got from Jimmy Crowley, and also perhaps the Bog Brain, I think, which is another West Cork song, beautiful little lullaby, and hopefully finish up with the King Shilling. So, okay, thank you. Will I keep going, Niall? This is live. We're trying to do it continuously. So hopefully this is working out. Okay. Doll in Cash's Window. I'll take Johnny walking, I'll take him up the dike. I'll take Johnny walking and I'll dress him in blue and white. He was the doll with the dee-doll derrock, he was the boy with the curly hair. He was the doll in Cash's window, lo, but I am my Gianni. Your daddy, he's a sailor, you're the apple of his eye. So a suit like daddy's, as blue as the summer sky. And he was the doll with the dee-doll derrock, he was the boy with the curly hair. He was the doll in Cash's window, lo, but I am my Gianni. I met with Kitty Maloney in the Colgate yesterday. She said you were me dazzle with eyes like a Bay. And he was the doll with the dee-doll derrock, he was the boy with the curly hair. He was the doll in Cash's window, lo, but I am my Gianni. Hops and order Gianni, leaves Suscadil Ray. Glor she calling Giobla, Gogus tear she thou Soleil. And he was the doll with the dee-doll derrock, he was the boy with the curly hair. He was the doll in Cash's window, lo, but I am my Gianni. When your dad comes home for sailing, he'll bring you a ferry and a ship rigged in a bottle just for his own Johnny. And he was the doll with the dee-doll derrock, he was the boy with the curly hair. He was the doll in Cash's window, lo, but I am my Gianni. He was the doll with the dee-doll derrock, he was the boy with the curly hair. He was the doll in Cash's window, no, but I am my Gianni. Okay, thank you. It is bizarre singing to yourself, well, singing to Niall. But I hope this helps people in some way or gives you a bit of peace or even a laugh, whichever you like. Okay, so I think I'll do a beautiful little song that really I learned from the singing of Irla Leonard, and it's basically just a little lullaby called Bog Brain. Bog Brain, Bog Brain, Bog Brain, dun chandana. Bog Brain, splosh vein, Bog Brain, dun chandana. Queer colour, queer colour, queer colour, unchandana. Queer colour, snia chasa, spark tiak, unchandana. Uf kirka, kirka, of kirka dan chandana. Of kirka splorin imma, sahort dan chandana. Queer kalla, queer kalla, queer kalla, anshandana. Queer kalla, sania kassa, spark jak, lanchandana. Fioluer, 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 dan chandana. Fioluer, sprain soup, sahort, lanchandana. Queer kalla, queer kalla, queer kalla, anshandana. Queer kalla, sania khasa, spark diak, dan chandana. Queer kalla, queer kalla, queer kalla, anshandana. Queer kalla, sania khasa, spark diak, dan chandana. Okay, so I'm going to finish with a song called The King's Shilling, which is an amazing anti-war song that I sing all the time. I love it. And I got it from, of course, Frank Hart, who is an incredible man who gave me a lot of songs. And if you are looking for something to do, of course, during the lockdown and need sort of a gift of mindfulness, singing is always a great thing to help the head. It kind of keeps you steady and safe, and it passes time beautifully. So hopefully this will help people to do that. Of course, it was Frank's wish as well that the songs would be passed on and sung, more importantly. It's more important that they're sung, not that they kind of stay in a museum or something. So, thank you again to the Boston Celtic Fest and to everyone in Club Passim and everyone who signed up for this. And I wish you all the very best and mind yourselves. And hopefully we'll get back to Boston maybe in 2022. Okay, thank you. Here we go, King Shilling. Oh, my love has left me with parents 12, and that's the last of him I ever saw. He joined the army and marched to war. He took the shilling, and he's off to war. Come, laddies, come, hear the cannons roar. Take the king's shilling, and you're off to war. Well, did he look as he marched along, with his kilt and sporran and his musket gun, and the ladies tipped him as he marched along. He sailed out by the Broomielaw. Well, the pipes did play as he marched along, and the soldiers sang out a battle song. March on, cried the captain gay, for King our country. For King and country we will fight today. Come, laddies, come, hear the cannons roar. Take the king's shilling, and you're off to war. Well, the battle rattled too, the sound of guns, and the bayonets flashed in the morning sun. The drums did breathe and the drums did roar, and the shilling didn't seem, oh, the shilling didn't seem much worth the war. Come, laddies, come, hear the cannon roar. Take the king's shilling and you're off to war. Well, the men they fought and the men did fall, cut down by bayonet and musket ball. And many of these brave young men would never fight for, they'd never fight for the king again. Come, laddies, come, hear the cannons roar. Take the king's shilling and you'll die in war. Come, laddies, come, hear the cannons roar. Take the king's shilling and you will die in war. Thank you. Thanks a million.
Well, if that doesn't soothe your soul, I don't know what will. That's Karan Casey. What a gorgeous, gorgeous set. Thank you so much, Karan. We've got one more performer, but before we come back and have our final performer, I want to check in with our friend Brian O'Donovan, who's been such a strong supporter of Club Passim, of BCMFest, and of the Celtic scene in the Boston area. Let's hear from Brian O'Donovan.
Hello, I'm Brian O'Donovan, enjoying being with you for this virtual edition of Boston Celtic Music Festival from Club Passim. And what a show they are putting on under the most adverse of circumstances, as you can imagine. And we are in the same boat all around the world. But Passim persists, as it says on its website, an appropriate title for the little folk club that could and does and is tonight and will continue doing so into the future, supporting musicians, supporting artistic efforts like this. And it will be back, but it's staying strong meanwhile, and having people like Alasdair, Fraser and Natalie Haas join in, Karan Casey and all of the others who have been involved in BCMFest for so many years. It's just a delight to be hanging out here. Even if it is online, we will remember this, and afterwards we will take every moment at Club Passim or elsewhere in our artistic lives. We will take it for the preciousness it has built into it and not for granted as we have done in the past. So again, thanks for supporting Club Passim. Thanks for supporting the artists. Go to their websites, buy their music, interact with them. This is a lonely time of isolation for so many. Buy a ticket to a virtual event for a friend and watch it together. That's a way that we can stay strong as an artistic community going forward until this is over. And it will be by us. This is the darkest time. They say it's just before the dawn. There are pinpricks of light out there. Some optimism during this particularly dark time. BCMFest for me tonight and over this whole weekend is certainly one of the reasons to be optimistic. And again, thanks for your support of Club Passim. Thanks for your support of the arts.
Thank you so much, Brian O'Donovan. We couldn't do this without folks like you, so we are greatly appreciating all of your support over the years, and especially thanks to everyone who has been tuned in over the course of this weekend. Remember, we have workshops coming tomorrow and Monday as well. And we're just so grateful that you're taking part in a festival that is not in person right now and cannot be in person right now, but with all hope will be next year. We are thrilled you've been here. We are so excited about all of the folks that have gotten involved in the festival this year and looking at Boston as not just a local community, but a global community. And we're thrilled that you're all here with us right now. And closing us off tonight, they have a brand new record called Syzygy, and we are absolutely honored to present to you Alasdair Fraser and Natalie Haas.
Thank you. That was a brand new tune which I wrote, which is on our new album Syzygy. It's called Alien of Alisund, and it refers to the wonderful hardanger fiddle player from Norway, Annbjørg Lien, who has the coolest set of initials in the world, Alien. And that was a tune that was kind of inspired by one of her tunes, which changes time signatures almost every bar. So I gave myself that challenge as I was writing that piece, and that's what came out. And we are so excited to be joining you tonight for the BCMFest finale concert, and to be in such great company with Karan Casey. And I hope you've all had a wonderful festival. I haven't been at BCMFest for years because we have been running a workshop weekend the very same weekend on the West Coast every year for the past 10 or 12 years. So it's been a while since I've been at a BCMFest, but because of the online format, this year we're actually able to do both. So it's great to be back at BCMFest. And it's a wonderful festival and a wonderful expression of just how strong our Boston trad community is. So I feel very lucky to be a part of it. We're going to continue with some of Alasdair's tunes now.
Yeah, this tune actually takes us to Scotland. Surprise, surprise. And it refers to an old road, a piece of roadway called the Rest and Be Thankful, which has been called that for centuries, going back to the Roman times. But in more modern times, it was kind of a challenge to motorists. Even with my family, when we were younger, I would go up there and we would see if we could get a car to go all the way up and around the corner of the Rest and Be Thankful. But there's a part on that corner where lots of cars would give in. The engines would overheat and people would just stop, and they would get out their flasks and drink a cup of tea and wait for the engine to cool down. And so many stories about the Rest and Be Thankful, but now it's become a strathspey. And after that, a jig called Start Your Engines. rest and be thankful. Okay, well, the album, as Natalie mentioned earlier, our new album is called Syzygy, which is a word that has just, it spouts so many different pathways to explore, and we'll never end exploring where this word has been and the various rabbit holes it takes you down. But one of the most astonishing references to syzygy is in a word that was coined in 1919 by G. Gregory Smith, and the word is anti-syzygy, and it refers to things not being quite in alignment, but to be kind of, to have a duality of competing ideas. And apparently that is one of the great fingerprints of the Scottish condition. Who would have thought? Actually, we have talked about it before, quite a few of us. We're never quite sure, you know, should you speak in English, or should you speak in Doric, or are you a Highlander or a Lowlander? And there are many dualities that exist within the Scottish condition, and it even has a name. It's called anti-syzygy. So here's a tune that is pushing forward with that idea in mind. Well, now we leave Scotland and we head for our our close family and our compatriots in Spain. We love to go to Spain. We love to tour there. Lots of friends there and family. And I wrote this tune that kind of came to my mind as being represented by this image in my mind of the troubadours arriving at a fiesta, at a party. And the whole idea of this melody is that there's this stately arrival of these singing, dancing, juggling, magician poets. And you know, when they arrive at the party, you just know it's going to go up a few notches. It's going to be a wild time. So this melody tries to capture some of this idea of what happens when you have the arrival of the troubadours. La llegada de los trovadores.
All right, thank you again for joining us. We have one more set of tunes for you. We're going to start with a tune that I wrote. I was trying to write a Swedish polska, and this is what came out. It ended up sounding more like a 3/2 English hornpipe, so I decided to call it Sweglish. And from that, we'll go into a reel, which I wrote kind of with some of these Middle Eastern modes in my head. And what came out ended up sounding way more Celtic than Middle Eastern, but just enough little strange things in it to call it modally challenged. So that's the last tune, and thank you again for having us. Big hand for BCM Fest and all of the wonderful artists this weekend, and stay tuned for Karan Casey. And thank you again to Club Passim for hosting this great event.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yay.
That's Alasdair, Fraser, and Natalie Haas. Such a great way to end the nightcap here for BCM Fest 2021. And Natalie, you didn't get it wrong. Karen's going to be back tomorrow for a master class. So you can around for Karen Casey. It's just going to be till tomorrow. We're also going to have a workshop with Neil Perlman tomorrow. And then on Monday, we've got workshops with Alasdair, Natalie, and Molly Pinto Madigan. You can find information on all those things at BCM or passim.org/BCMFest. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being part of this magical weekend that we've had going on for 18 years. The first one of them completely online here, but we can't wait to get back in the room again. If you didn't get a chance to make a donation to Passim, you can do that at passim.org/stream. We appreciate you being here and being part of this festival. Thanks to everyone that helped put this together. Julian and Summer and Sean and Leanne and Abby and everyone. It's been incredible working with everyone to see this come to fruition in such an incredible way. It's a pretty magical thing, and you all watching are a part of that as well. So thanks to all of you. Thanks for sharing these streams. Thanks for spreading the word out on the internet wherever you are. And we're so grateful for you. We can't wait to be back in the room and see you in person. Come on back for the workshops tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, we've got a live streaming show from an empty Club Passim with Dinty Child and friends. Again, thank you. We'll see you soon.